That's a safety hazard.
Yeah, that's a safety hazard, all right. What was the safety hazard? A lot of times people will interchange three terms within the hazard assessment process. They'll interchange hazard, consequence, and risk, and use them interchangeably, and really and truthfully, you shouldn't. Couple of reasons. Number one is the communication with others is going to be flawed. Number two is you're likely doing your hazard assessment process a disservice, because the whole idea behind health and safety is the identification of hazards, assessing them for probable consequence to calculate the risk so that you can apply controls to eliminate or reduce risk so that work can continue safely. That's it. That's it in a nutshell. So let's look at those three things, hazard, consequence, and risk, and see if we can clear that up a little bit so it's not, say, so confusing. Now, hazard is any source of potential damage, harm, or adverse health effects on something or someone. To put it in its simplest terms, a hazard is something that has a negative effect on anyone or anything it interacts with. So, really and truthfully, a set of stairs isn't the hazard, but a broken railing might be, or a broken stair tread, or a torn piece of nosing on the stairs. All of those might be a hazard, just as something spilled on the stairs is. Those are a hazard. Now, interaction with that hazard can bring about a consequence. Now, a consequence is the injury or illness to people, damage to property and or assets, and of course, harm to the environment after the interaction with the hazard. So think of it as results. That something that has occurred as a result of the hazard is a consequence. So stepping in that wet substance on the stairs and falling, the fall is the consequence. Now, there can be additional consequences like a sprain or a broken bone or something like that, but the fall is the consequence. So exposure to that hazard can result in a consequence. Now, the next thing that you need to do is consider the probability of that consequence happening. And in doing so, when you look at the severity, the probable severity that could occur when exposure to the hazard, and the probability that that can occur, then what you're doing is you're considering risk. Risk is the chance or probability of the manifestation of the consequence after interaction with or exposure to the hazard. Now keep in mind, risk increases as frequency of the exposure to the hazard increases. So in total, when we're looking at, say, we'll look at the stairs analogy, when we're looking at the stairs, and if there's a broken stair tread there and people are going up and down, well, the more people doing it and the more trips up and down the stairs is going to increase the frequency. And what's the probable consequence? And the probable consequence is going to be a fall. So when you're doing that, that's what you're doing. You're looking at the hazard, and it's in this case the broken stair tread. What's the probable consequence? A trip or a fall? And how often are those stairs being used? Now, if the staircase is shut down completely and nobody's going on it, well, you know what? Then there's zero risk. But if there's people going up and down it all day and numerous trips, well, you know what? Trips. Was that a Freudian slip? But numerous passes up and down the stairs, then you know what? Then that means that is going to increase the risk because there's more exposure. Now, I hope this made it a bit clear. If it didn't, do me a favor, leave me a comment down below. Let me know. I would like to hear from you. I really would. Also, if you haven't done so already, can you do me a favor and just, click that like button. Give me a subscribe. Until we see each other again, please do me a favor. Don't just think about safety. Don't just talk about safety, but do safety. Be a safety influencer. Provoke safety wherever you are. Okay, take care. Bye for now.